Hey, it's me, MLB. Here is part 2 of Competitive Enjoy. I'll let him find me first. If he's going to be like that, then he can make the first move, you said, throwing your head up high as you turned to walk to the bus with your friend beside you. She sighed and shook her head. She knew what you were like. That night, you were chillin' on Insta when a message popped up in your DMs. Tobio Kags1 has sent you a message, the icon read. Oh, it's got to be him, you thought with a thumping heart as you clicked on the message. It was a link, so you clicked the link. It was details for a training night set up for anyone from any school to attend. There would be drills, sprints, jumps, throws, literally a help for anyone in any sports field. What is this? You thought as you wrinkled your nose. Is this his idea of a date? So you coming or not? He sent in as the next message. Who says I need a training night? You sent back. If you want to keep up with me, then you'll need a training night. But if not, then I'll just go on ahead of you. He sent back, adding the smirk emoji on the end. Oh, cocky are we? I'd better come along then to make sure you don't cheat. I don't cheat, he sent back quickly, which made you laugh. Relax, you replied. I was joking, damn. Will you be there or not? He sent again. When is it? You asked. Tomorrow, 6 p.m, he replied. Okay, I'll be there, you sent back. It seemed like this guy didn't have much of a sense of humour. Hey, did Hottie hit you up yet? Your friend texted. How did you know? You sent back to her, switching from Insta to another messaging app. BDE just slid into my DMs with a training night invite. TF? He what? Your friend sent back. Yeah, he seemed a little stiff-starched, but that's fine. I'm comedian enough for the both of us, you replied her. Good point. When God made you, he upended the entire bottle of comedian into you, your friend sent. Thanks, bestie, you replied with a slightly amused exhale through your nose. I'll let you know how tomorrow night goes. 6 p.m. the following night, you got off the bus and walked to the address of the training grounds that Kagayama had sent to you. The place was alive with people. Oh, so this is more happening than I thought it was going to be, you thought with surprise as you walked in with your Shiratorizawa gym bag over one shoulder. Guys and girls from all schools were there, and you stopped to look around for Karasuno black and orange uniform. You saw a few players scattered around, and then you heard your name and looked over. You're just going to stand there all night? Kagayama asked with a smirk as he walked over. I've already beat the jump record. Ha! Nice of you to set a high mark so I can smoke you and then set the new record, he replied smugly. His face darkened for a second, then he grinned with a scowl as he looked down at you. Bring it on, he replied, turning and walking back over to where there was a group of guys and girls standing there waiting for their turn. There was another tall player standing there, and you eyed him as he walked up. Bit short, aren't you? He commented without looking down at you, the light from the gym glinting off his glasses. She's jumped higher than you already, Skishma, Kagayama commented idly as he took to the other side of you. Oh, you're her mouth, are you? Cute, Skishma rebutted quickly. Ladies, please, there's enough for me to go around. Ugh, reeks of testosterone in here, you said, pinching your nose and waving your hand around in front of you to clear the stench. Both guys didn't say anything else, and you all stood and watched a few people jump. So should I wait until the end to jump so that it ends on the highest score for the night, or? You asked Kagayama teasingly. Skishima scoffed and you swung your head towards him quickly. Sorry, what was your vertical again? You asked, knowing full well that you had already beat him, since Kags had mentioned it. I mean, if you want to waste energy on beating everyone, then go right ahead, Skishima replied, crossing his arms across his chest. I don't get the hype, but whatever. You know, I think the ocean might be drinkable now because all the salt's in you. Damn, you good? Don't waste your time on him, Kagayama interrupted, taking your wrist in his hand. You need to stretch before the jump. And with that, he dragged you off to a clear space to help you limber up. Hold up, why are you stretching too, boo? You asked when you saw him do some squats and jumps. I'm beating your score, he replied calmly, pulling one leg up behind himself, then the other. Oh, I see how it is, he replied cheekily, mimicking his movements. Okay, baby, let's dance. It's not a dance, it's to... Babes! It's a figure of speech. Okay, you know what? Just help me stretch my hamstrings. You got down on the floor on your back and raised one leg up and waved Kagayama over to help him start pushing your leg towards your head. More, you said, breathing deep as your leg passed the vertical and started heading down to your body. He paused when he felt tension in your hamstrings, but you waved him through it. More, you said again, wincing a little as the stretch started to burn in your hammies. Don't overdo it, he said lowly. I'm not. This is how I stretch every day. Now push that leg like you're going to break me in two, you said. Following your instruction, he pushed it again, kneeling down on one knee beside you as your knee touched the front of your shoulder. You let out a very provocative moan and his face flushed with embarrassment, steely eyes darting away from yours so that he wouldn't get too involved. Is it enough? He asked. Yeah, you breathed, making him cough and blush harder at the sound in your voice. I'm letting go now, he said, slowly releasing his hold on your leg so that you could let it down. Okay, other one now, you said with a cheeky grin on your face. Not if you're going to make those noises, he said darkly. I know you like them, you replied with a smirk and wiggle of your eyebrows. I don't want to give myself away. Gym shorts aren't very forgiving, he mumbled, averting his eyes from yours as he took up the position at your other leg and started to push. Your other leg was a lot more limber, and he knelt down gently as he pushed your knee to your shoulder, his eyes boring into yours. His face was quite close to yours, and there was a moment where it felt like you could kiss, but the place was bustling around you, so it very much detracted from the moment, and he looked away before anything else could happen. Last jumps, a voice called from where they were testing verticals, and you got up and shook your legs out a bit before jogging over to do your run. You signalled to the person measuring the jumps that you were ready, and then you dipped your fingers into the chalk and bounced on your toes a little to test where your body was at. Everything felt good. Runner ready? The girl on the ladder called. You nodded, and after a deep breath in and out, you ran like the wind and sprung into the air, arching back a touch before pushing all of your stretch into your fingers and touching the glass panel. It was a long way down, but you managed to stick the landing and bounce off to the side. There was a murmur going through the onlookers, and you knew you had done a good run. Even Kagayama looked shocked. 2:42? The girl on the ladder called with disbelief in her voice. Sounds of surprise and shock rippled through the onlookers, and Kagayama flexed his legs, getting ready for his run. Beat that, Kags, you teased as you walked past him. I will, he replied confidently. And with that he started his sprint to the glass panel. It was a solid run, but it didn't look like he got as high, and that became apparent when his vertical was read, and it was only 2:40. Again, he demanded. I've got all night, you replied smugly. He walked over to you, towering over you and standing there as you smirked up at him. I beat you. You go on a date with me, he stated. It took you by surprise, but you kept all of your emotions internal and didn't let them show on your face. Okay, deal, you replied nonchalantly, keeping a cool exterior. He turned and waited for the people to get ready and then ran again. The power in his legs was far stronger this time around, and he jumped, smacking the glass with his hand, then landing and jogging away a little while looking back to see what the verdict was. 242.5 came the call, and he grabbed his hand into a fist and then swung it down to his hip, a smug smirk on his face as he jogged back to you. I'll DM you the details for the date, he said as he passed you and strode off to get a drink. And there ends part 2 of Competitive. Next up is part 2 of Hero's Duty, the Aizawa X villain female listener. See you then.